welcome back to All About Us. We are starting to talk a little bit about our healing process and how we go about that, and we're not going to forget to dive in even more in the book. I have been, all of this is my fault. I have been making, so you see us with the same clothing is because we do 4 segments together. Um, and I'm cool with that.
Me too.
And I think because the energy is the energy, and I do not want to lose it, and we have it, and so if you're wondering how do they get one after the other, that's how we get one after the
We
other.
sat here for 4 hours.
Exactly. And that's without editing or anything like that, which I keep very simple. And we're learning together as we do this. I've always, interviewed people and done all that, but I've never interjected my story. And that's why these segments are so important to me. And I don't know about you, but for me, Kathleen, you're helping me with my healing through this, because we're not on the same journey, which is actually a blessing in disguise. So
Yeah.
I think it's so fluid, and so that's what you're saying. So
I think there's a real beauty in that too, because every single time I listen to another survivor, I learn something, or I say, "Oh yeah, I felt the same way," and again, that makes me feel not alone. So I think we can learn so much from each other. And all of you out there too.
yes, send us your stories, whatever you want to share with
Because
us.
we will acknowledge your stories.
Yes,
They're important.
They're very important, and sometimes not feeling alone and having something that becomes your teddy bear, your blanket, whatever you call it. For me, I'll tell you this: looking at we're talking about triggers, healing. Um, for me, it took me a long time. The biggest impact in my life has been given to me by my grandma, by my abuela.
Well, I love that word.
Abuela. My youngest calls me that. My oldest granddaughter calls me Nani. And because of my love, and she was the first feminist I met, and I didn't even know that. She was like the first feminist that I met in my family. And so once later on, I was like, oh, wow, I already met the biggest feminist in the world. That was my abuela. But I never could look at her picture. There's this picture that I have of her, and I could never look at that picture. That particular picture to me felt like it was going on when we took that picture.
Yeah.
And so I almost felt lots of shame. Do you ever, and I know this is going to be a silly question because I know the answer is yes, but the word shame for you, where did it live, and does it have life now?
Well, first of all, I think it lived kind of right here in my body. I could literally feel it. And I felt it during times of sexuality, which that was another task to conquer.
Yes.
Re-entering
your body.
Safety in that. And again, those are where words had to help me. They did help me with a safe partner, right? There was so much shame involved in sexual assault. Childhood sexual assault, it's been in your body since you were 6. So, for me, and that shame was there from day one. And as time went on until I was 13, it just grew and grew, and I pushed it deeper and deeper. And it was like, and I painted pictures like this of like a figure of me, and my hair was all black and scraggly, and there was blood on me, and there was this circle that went right through the middle of me. You could see right through it. Like a part of me was just gone. Like everything was taken. So I think I put the shame there until I learned how to put other things there. You know,
Change the shelf.
yeah,
What goes on the shelf?
right.
And the reason I bring this up is because I know that many of us still struggle with the shame. And I think that there's a lot of shaming when it comes down to this. When you are a child, people call it child abuse if they find out.
That's why I change that word every single time.
Yeah, and they call it things like they stole your innocence. It's rape.
Right.
It's
Sexual assault.
It's violation. It is. And as you grow, as a woman or as a man, however you identify, as you develop, then people use terms like, or say things like, I don't know, what were you wearing that night? Or, did he misunderstand? Rape is not something that people misunderstand.
Yeah.
It's taking ownership of someone else's body and using it without permission. Okay, that's what you're doing. It's a crime. And so I hear still people saying, well, we knew that she was flirtatious, or she was very, kind of happy all the time, or I know that, she was a sexy, kind of woman, and maybe she couldn't get anybody, and she got him, and then, or her, and they wanted to capture them, and that's why they're accusing them. I mean, I've heard stuff that really drives me insane.
So, and I would have to say that when you said, what was she wearing? You know what I was wearing? I was wearing little shorts with little pockets and a t-shirt and PF Flyers. That's what I was wearing the first time it happened to me. Yes.
So all of these things that we hear do affect us, and I ask you, where do you carry your shame? My shame was always and lives a lot on my shoulders and my back. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. And I had to learn that I could feel it creep up at times when I felt the shame, or when I felt that somebody else was being shamed, or when I was in the support group, and I almost wanted to say to someone, don't go that far.
Oh, stop, yeah.
No. And you would think, what was that about? I almost felt like, how do I protect you? Because once this is out of your mouth,
you can't put it back.
So I'm no longer a support group participant. I'm like, and it was just so hard, and I didn't realize that was my own stuff.
Yeah.
And this person had shared with me, and I knew how painful it was, and here they were ready, and I was interrupting their process. And I had to learn how to apologize for that. And so all of those, so where do you carry the shame, the anger? Those are questions that I had to learn to ask myself, and to hear my body. I never even heard that thing. I was like, listen, that's some, crazy stuff that other people talk about. What are you talking about? Where do I carry it in my body and all that? I don't have time for that. What you had a different response to all of that. Mine is a little bit more like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any of those things going on in my body.
I had, and my therapist would call them body memories. So I had a lot of body memories, and I didn't know what the heck they were. And they started, my closest memory of this particular body memory started when I first went to nursing school, so I was about 19 or so. And it's a little graphic, not really, but I would feel pains going up my insides, like
sharp
pains. And it to the point where I could be walking, I was walking to nursing school, from the dorm, and I would be doubled over in this pain. Now, so eventually I went to a doctor and, told me there was nothing that would be causing that. But that was the strongest body memory that I ever had. And it would come and it would go and it would come and it would go. But I had a lot of nausea all the time. So that was kind of a stomach thing. I had digestive issues. My body was screaming.
Set me free.
It was. Absolutely, that's what it was saying. It was set me free. Like it was just, I was holding on so tight to my shame and to what happened to me. And that was the thing about learning that it happened to me. It was not my shame. It was his shame.
It happened to me.
It wasn't my shame. But that took so long to learn. But when I finally did, again, it felt a little like freedom. Like, okay, I don't have to.
I'm breathing as we're
know,
talking. I'm
I
taking
know.
those deep breaths. So your body. So if many of you are saying, "Oh my God, it was since that I started feeling anxiety or this anger that I just." Or the sadness, or the anger, the sadness, the shame, because they did just like an ugly ice cream cone that they keep putting stuff on. Yeah, it's just.
So I'm gonna tell a little story.
Please.
This just happened this recent Labor Day, so not that long ago. So this was 2 sessions back to back, and I had been feeling really, really nauseous, and I couldn't figure out why. I'm like, damn, I'm getting a GI bug or something like that.
And being a nurse, I'm sure.
So I'm trying to diagnose all this. In the meantime, I'm thinking, well, should I not take this medicine or whatever? I'm Googling everything because I don't know why I can't make this go away. And it wouldn't go away. And then finally, I talked to my Marcy, who's my therapist now, and we talked about this nausea. And what I said to her was, I hate when I feel nauseous, and I burst into tears. And it took me right back to right before we go, in my case, I was sexually assaulted all during the summer. I knew that Labor Day would come and I would go back to school and I would be free again. I would not have to endure this like I do in the summer. But and this was the thing I never talked about, and I will not go into detail, but right before Labor Day is when he was the meanest and when he did the worst things, because I was going to be gone, So this nausea was really from that. It was from the before, right before going to school. And I was nauseous all the time. And all of a sudden, it just like dawned on me. And that was because I talked about it. And I said the right words. I hate when I feel nauseous. And then the emotion came right after that statement, like shaking, crying, like I hadn't done in years in therapy. I was right back there again. But I was like, thank you. To myself, almost like you.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for saying that out loud. And thank you for believing me. I'm acting like Marcy's sitting right over there.
Marcy's always with us.
I know.
And John is with us.
Thank you for believing me. And, and reiterated all those positive affirmations about how she believed me. And this should never have happened to you. And I'm so sorry that happened to you. And this is, and then at the end of the session, you know what I said? I said, I know this is not going to be a surprise to you, Marcy. I said, but I don't feel nauseous anymore.
Wow.
That literally just happened whenever Labor Day was.
Because our bodies are so connected.
Yeah.
and our brains. So people try to separate from our bodies, but that's a whole different argument for me all the time.
Mm.
You know, it's always that. We start thinking, this was what was advice to me, start thinking about what does your body respond to. And I was like, what the world does that mean? What does your body feel like at different times of the day, when you're with people or without people? So we hope that in this segment, you go and go, huh, I feel this pain, or God, I get a headache every time I don't know how to de-stress it. I don't know how to do that.
Or when you go to bed at night, for some people, you know, what is that feeling?
What is that feeling when you wake up in the middle of the day? So we're going to start, right? We're going to start identifying those things. And I will tell you in the next segment, you'll bring your list,